Damn, y'all feel that?
Yeah, yeah, uh, yeah. A message to all you pseudo spitters. The sound is cool, but the trend I see is the truth is missing. I feel the flow is stupid. You claim that the music's different. I guess it's all opinion, depending on who was listening.
What's the word, y'all? It's KTR underscore podcast, hashtag KTR. We are KTR. We're back in the build for episode 74 of No Rose Podcast. That's right. No the Rose Podcast, hashtag KTR. We are KTR. We are back in the building for another show for y'all. For some more news for y'all, for some more info in the wrestling community for y'all. And today is going to be a great day. It's another great day for episode. But before we dive into this episode today, I got to check in with my brothers, and that is Big Harv and J-Bo himself. And my brothers, how are y'all feeling today?
Chilling, man. Can't complain. Another good day by wrestling. What about you, Big Harv?
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Beautiful day for a neighbor. In Daniel Tiger's neighborhood. Sorry,
That's that's like a top 3 most positive moment Harv has had ever that I've seen. Yeah, so we're gonna take it. We're gonna roll it. But before we decide to roll and go live on this episode, real quick, y'all gotta do this one simple favor for us, and that is to follow us on all social media platforms: KTR underscore podcast, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. No Rose Podcast, Facebook, YouTube. No Rose Podcast, all podcast platforms. Got Google Podcasts, got Spotify, we got Anchor, got Apple Podcasts, got Podbean. We're on everything, and don't forget to get that merch at ProWrestlingTees.com/KCR podcast. Let's get into the show.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good time today. And what better way to start this episode than with the last topic that I ended with on my last show on episode 74. We're just gonna dive into. It's gonna be the first topic on our episode. On episode 74 of No Rose Podcast, and that is about Rey Mysterio's son.
Dirty Dom.
I said a lot about this man. I gave him his dandelions. I applauded him on his work and everything so far. Everything that I said on episode 73, I take it back, and that's going in the trash can for episode 74.
I wish you were.
Everything I said about this man, forget what I said. F it, throw it in the trash can along with him. Because how in the hell y'all gave this man a singles title?
He worked for it. You were campaigning to send that man back to NXT.
It's not the same thing. Y'all knew
what did you think was going to happen?
What did you think they were going to do? What I meant by say sending him to NXT, I didn't mean throw this man in NXT and put a title on him.
What did you think would happen if you sent somebody that great that low?
Wait, that what?
He's gonna dominate.
What adjective?
They made the right. He's gonna. I mean, he's gonna be NXT champ soon, and then they're gonna be like, "We'll be sending him down there for." They're gonna move him up, and he gonna take over again on the man. I mean, it really makes no sense for him to be down there. He's popping. You know what I'm saying? He's hot. What you moving him down for? Except to boost them youngins, because Dom is so great. He's such a master at his craft. He knows what he's doing. So now he's just blessing the folks that haven't made it quite to his level yet with the lessons and the teachings and the things that he can show them and make them better. You know what it is, man. Stop that. Stop all that. Right?
While Cinko is over here about to have a borderline stroke, I'm going to add a bit more to it. If this was pre-Judgment Day, Dominic, then yes, I would understand the frustrations from Cinko. However, because of the amount of heat, the attention, the on-screen time that has been quite entertaining for over the past year now, him going down, winning a championship belt, it does two things. Number one, it gives even more heat to Dominic, which makes him even more marketable. And the North American title benefits from this as well. Because before, on NXT, obviously it was an NXT mid-card title. It's here. All right, great, we understand. But now we're going to look at it as like the championship that this dude that nobody likes is carrying around to SmackDown Raw, wherever the false draft show he ended up on. Like it works out in everyone's favor. The only thing that I'm upset about is that with Ali and Wesley, like they really brought down Ali to help build that the title picture and the feud between those two, and then now they just ripped the belt off of them. Sure, they could just take the belt right off Dom and put him back in. Who cares? But that's like my only quarrel with it. But no, this is terrific for both the belt and Dom. So I agree with Harv.
I agree with you. The only thing that they need to change is the fact that title, he needs to be added to that match between Ali and Wesley, because it was built around the title.
Yeah.
So they still deserve that prize. I will say that. On a more serious note, they do deserve to fight for that title, because that's what they've been going for a minute. But other than that, there's nothing but positives. If they make that change, I ain't got nothing negative to say about it. Good job. Good job.
Cinko, have you recovered yet? Come on, man. It's the first topic of the show. You'll be fine.
I should have made the last because I'm about to have an aneurysm over here. All right. So one thing I can agree on is with that Rey Mysterio's son winning this title, it does help elevate, in a sense, the North American title. I will say that, it's not a punch at Wesley, because the thing about, I will say this about Wesley, him being the prior North American champion, he has put on great / workhorse matches with this title, So I'll say in ring, he's been representing the title. Off screen, for like promo stuff, it's been like, if I'm just being honest, from that standpoint, from like, I guess the entertainment standpoint, but from the match quality, A plus, because he's been delivering. So I get that. Ali coming into play, when this whole feud with him, and then had they included what's that wrestler's name? Tyler Bate. Yeah, with him and try to include him into this feud and everything. It's been, I mean, like I said, it wasn't really getting there just yet. It did a little something, but it wasn't just like a bigger pop than when Rey Mysterio's son hopped in the equation to elevate this on the entertainment level, because this is on cable television, so they're trying to make it more interesting, I suppose. So it helps out that way. I do feel bad for Wesley because of how long he held the title, and he was coming up upon a record with like how many days of holding this North American Championship.
I don't know how many days, but he was coming extremely close to beating Carmelo Hayes' reign.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, for that, I understand why I didn't do that. Well, Melo should hold that, but still, so it's fine. So I'm for it. I didn't know who was above him, but since it was Melo, it was perfectly fine. But other than that, it's real confusing on how the World Wrestling Entertainment System works, because Rey Mysterio's son is technically, and I don't know why, but he is on the main roster as a superstar.
Yes.
Are they going to strip the title off of him, because that's what they did to Solo?
Right.
He won the North American title.
They're not. I think, and again, it's World Wrestling Entertainment, so it's not going to make sense. But in Solo's case, he was a champion. I don't know if I got this correct. He was a champion before he was officially drafted to the main roster, and that's why they took it off of him. Where with Dom, he is a main roster superstar taking the belt, which they could keep it. Again, it makes no sense whatsoever, but I don't see them stripping him from the belt.
They benefit more from having somebody lose, or having him lose it to somebody, than they do from stripping it. With Solo, it wouldn't have made sense that way. But yeah.
Well, I guess in a sense it makes sense for him to take that title than the other mid-card titles are on the main roster, because because from Gunther, hell no. No. Austin Theory,
they could have made
it because how they're using him right now.
Who would be the face is the thing in that one. There's nobody likable.
You got two heels on that, so it makes
Dom is more likable, but he's not the one that they're trying to push as an actual face of the company in the future. So that one wouldn't have worked out.
I don't think it could have been a face situation. It could have been, like a triple threat scenario. Like Austin Theory could have with somebody. Dom, he snuck his way in to snuck the belt off. Now you took the belt off Austin. He's still a heel, and Dom still got heat.
I agree.
You could throw a face in like how they did with this, what they're doing for this SmackDown Open Challenge for the U.S. title, and they had them 2 matches. And now Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar, they got face off to see who's on face off theory. They could just did something like that, and it could have been Rey Mysterio and Rey Mysterio's son in Austin Theory. So that could have worked. Yeah, I guess, but congrats to Dirty Dom being the new North American NXT champion. Woohoo! Yeah.
Ooh.
Moving on from this BS. So on recent events with the World Wrestling Entertainment, besides that trash, we saw a return. Actually, we saw a return that we haven't seen in a minute. It's been going in the back of my head, like, where is he at? Where has he been? No, he's been recovering. He takes some time off, but the Almighty Bobby Lashley has been seen on mainstream TV on SmackDown for the past 2 weeks, making his appearance. Not in-ring appearance, but behind the stage, back scene, cameo, this and that. When he made this return, he had a couple of encounters with some of our brothers, our counterparts, our favorites, the Street Profits, and Mello and Trick. I love that. You see, yeah. So with that, what do you see anything coming about this? Do you see something possibly forming in the future? I know they had the whole talk about, on social media about there being a new Hurt Business 2.0 and that being dropped off and stuff because how they talking about pairing the black superstars and black superstars and everything and say what happened. But shoot, I ain't gonna lie, I would like if it happened. So yeah, but they included all the people that we said would be included. So do you think, or do you see anything coming about from this in the near future with Bobby Lashley having these encounters with the Street Profits and Mello and Trick? And do you see anybody else possibly in the future with this? What's your thoughts?
Well, I'll start off with this one. There's so many different possibilities come from this. The first one, I'll speak on Mello and Trick. I think that's just one of those like teasers, but that doesn't go anywhere. Mainly because neither one of those two need MVP at all. They're doing great on their own. Would it be great if they joined the group? Yeah, but they don't really need them. I think in my opinion, the focus still be on the Street Profits. Mainly because I think we've been talking for a long time about the inevitable break of the Street Profits where Montez goes on his own and Montez, you finally get a shot, and what would happen with Angelo? How should they break up? Should they break up decisively, or should it be like a partnership but singles competition type of breakup? I think the Hurt Business is the perfect way, in my opinion, where MVP that he could manage both of them as a tag team. But then he's speaking in Montez's ear a bit more over time, which will eventually lead to the breakup of the two, with MVP pretty much being the wedge between them, and then starting, like a heel run with Montez. We see Bianca showing the heel, so I wouldn't be surprised if they both go in that direction. And I think it'll be good for every character. The only one it'll hurt, obviously, will be Angelo, unless they give him a little bit more, screen time, which I doubt. But I do see a tag team being matched by them, and then Montez going off on their own. I think that's the only real come from it right now. Anything else would just be fantasy booking.
Which is ultimately, go ahead.
I said, why you want to break up the Street Profits so bad, man?
I want to break up the Street Profits. I'm looking long term. I'm looking at clearly the attention that Montez gets over Angelo. Look at Montez. Him and Bianca just got that TV show together. They're having all of the red carpet walks and the interviews where it's just them. They're clearly putting spotlight specifically on him for a reason. Not saying that they don't do that with the Street Profits together. Montez and Bianca are clearly the main ones who gets that. So I wouldn't be surprised if there is an end goal of putting him by himself. I have to see it come up. What about you, Harv?
Huh?
Well,
I guess he doing something right now. Yeah, he on mute. So with that, oh man, okay, now I gotta take a talking point real quick. You just end with me, but with that, so I understand. Like we want to make Montez like the next thing. You know, he's younger than the other top superstars by 10 years that are in that are in the spotlight now. So we're gonna need a new top star in the near future. So I guess I get that, you know, but you know what? It's kind of hard to go against that because of the track history of Bobby Lashley and like how he maneuvers and everything. You know, he's only gonna be a good guy for so long until he converses over into that role of being the reason why, you know, I guess a partnership does break up and stuff like that. But at the same time, like the Street Profits are still marketable together, and we need tag teams still at the end of the day. But at the same time, you can just see how Montez is this gem in the making. You know, he's still a little bit, you know, raw when it comes to like that you know, the spotlight and everything. You know, he got it. We know he got it. We see it all the time. You know, we see him in like a couple of singles matches, especially with the Elimination Chamber, how he handled himself and everything. But I don't want to break up. I think they can still mesh together and hold it down while Montez is still up there, you know?
And you are 100% correct. It's just the building blocks are there. You got MVP who always causes drama with people.
I thought MVP was on Raw.
Well, we know that don't matter.
Yeah, like like I mentioned the other day, you had
because like MVP hasn't been even mentioned with Bobby Lashley. I mean, they had the thing like they're done with each other. Because MVP been doing stuff. Well, they try to do stuff with Cedric and Shelton because they're both on Raw technically. So you don't care, okay? We're just gonna bend the rules. All right, babe. All right.
It's dope because they had a Raw suit, like I mentioned the other day. They had a Raw superstar with Dominic go to NXT and then defend the title on SmackDown. I don't care about the draft or who's on which show anymore. So yes, I do see MVP. There was a segment, about 6-7 months ago, where MVP and Bobby Lashley, they like hashed things out a little bit and they just left it at that. So I wouldn't be surprised if he showed face eventually.
Well, the whole thing with that trash bag defending the title on SmackDown, I think that was because since they were already in Orlando at the PC Center.
That still kills the idea of the draft.
It does. It does. I agree. But yeah.
It was a pointless thing. Sorry I couldn't respond earlier, but I agree with everything y'all saying for real about the situation. I do think it's more of a social media machine with the group that might be forming. I think it's still a good idea to have a group form around Lashley. But as far as the Street Profits go, I don't think it's that people want them to break up. It's more that it's inevitable.
Yeah.
You know, you just know how the WWE machine works. It's just not likely for them to stay together and Montez get a singles push like the New Day or like groups of old. It's rare then, it's rare now, and that's just not the group to do it with, in my opinion. I feel like Angelo he'd be good anywhere he goes, anything he does. He's just not going to get the push that Ford is going to get. So it's a little messy, but we need Ford to break out sooner rather than later at this point, because as a tag team they aren't really doing anything anymore. So it doesn't make sense to keep them a tag team very much longer.
They've already done everything.
They've done everything.
Tag team, yeah.
And y'all not sending them on a tear like you did with the Usos or the New Day, where they become gatekeepers and you just look forward to their tag match. You look forward to seeing them. But as far as tag team action, they're not going for any belts. They're not really interested in them. They're not even like sniffing them. So it's like, what else are you gonna do?
Man.
Sorry, Cinko.
I know.
I saw a clip of John Cena and what's the name of the tag? Crime Time the other day. And I always felt that the Street Profits were Prime Time 2.0, where they actually got a chance to try to do it right. I know WWE, they won a tournament, like it was like a one-night tournament or something. Prime Time won for a shot at the tag titles, and it never happened. They never got that tag title shot.
Yeah.
I got hope for y'all, man. We gonna keep the tag team alive. We gonna find a way. Triple H gonna make a way. I believe in him. But we're gonna move on from the WWE side, and we're gonna hop over to the AEW side real quick. You know, do some little updates about that. So, what I saw last night, I didn't see it on TV or watch it because it was Saturday night, and I have a life. But according to wow. Apologies to anybody that did watch it live. No, I ain't saying y'all got a life, but you know, if y'all been keeping up with my lifestyle, you know I'm not in the house on Saturday evenings. But so apparently last night, apparently on AEW Collision, there was you know what, Jay, I'm gonna let you take over because I saw you post on your story. Not saying you don't have a life, you're a family man, so I get it. But at the same time, there was posts going around all over the place of Billy Gunn leaving his boots in the ring after a match. I don't know what the match was, but I just saw pictures and stuff of it, and I was just on Twitter like, oh my God. And just so I'm gonna let you take it away because I have no more context after that now.
I mean, Cinko, you pretty much summed it up correctly. After Billy Gunn's match last night, obviously in the ring, he did the ceremonial untying of the boots in the ring, which, you know, for any wrestling fan, you would know that signifies the public showing that you're retiring from in-ring competition.
Yep.
And I posted it because Billy Gunn, he rarely disappointed. Was he ever a top guy? No. What was he like one of the worst? Absolutely not. You know, he's been consistent for the better part of 30 years. So, and even in his age, I forgot how old Billy is. What is he, like 50? Or
he over 50, so yeah. He ain't 60, but he in the 50s.
He's 59.
Damn.
He's in phenomenal shape and he can still go in the ring. So if this is then, and the only reason why I say if you saw my post, I did the eyes emojis because the one thing with AEW, they are consistent with in-ring competition, but they're not consistent with storylines. So if this is the end with Billy Gunn, like I need to give him, well, we all need to give him his flowers and his credit for the contributions that he has done to professional wrestling. And I can still see him in a managerial role, you know, with the Acclaimed if he decides to do that, you know, without actually being in the ring. That'd be great. But yeah, it was a very interesting moment last night. And if this is the end, he definitely needs to get his acknowledgement. You're muted, Big
Harv, you're on mute.
Well, damn.
I was like this.
Very rare, but I completely disagree with you, J-Bo.
What's going on?
Hey, I love it. Yes.
I don't
join the dark side.
What exactly has Billy Gunn done?
You want me to? Okay, so
yeah, I really like. It might be some things I'm forgetting about, but he's not that legendary to me.
But like I said, was he ever a main eventer? No. Was he ever bottom card of the ring? No. But as far as like consistent in-ring action, he wasn't one of the type of guys like, oh yeah, Billy Gunn gonna be in a match. His is about to put on a terrific tag team matchup.
People was hyped to see Billy Gunn because he was the ass man. Okay,
so you saying
that was really it. We were kids and we got to say ass. He was Mr. Ass.
Yes, that's all it was. Again, it wasn't no main event, top level, anticipation type of thing. But you knew that Billy Gunn going to be in the ring. It's going to be something entertaining, or at least you're going to get a decent match out of him. Is he, going to be marketed as one of the best of all time? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying for the better part of 30 years, he's been in the ring. He's been consistent. He's reliable in the ring, and you're able to see it too.
So you're saying he's consistent?
Yeah, but consistent at what? He hasn't. He never really amounted to anything. He had seriously, he had the famouser, which is still a great move that's used by a lot of people. But what did Billy Gunn do? He had memorable gimmicks. He did. He had the Chuck and Larry. He has the one he's got going now with the Acclaim. He had I'm Billy and Chuck and Larry. But Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He had a few memorable gimmicks, but as far as himself, nothing he did actually stuck out to me. He was a terrible talker. He was an okay in-ring worker. He wasn't phenomenal. He was consistent, but there was nothing as far as mid-card that would make me put him up that high. So you're not really putting him high. You're just saying he deserves flowers. If you could jog my memory, I'd appreciate it. I just go see what flowers to get his man. What's some things called some sunflowers, some cheap, something you pick off the side of the highway. I don't know what kind of flowers to get them. There ain't gonna be no Spencer flowers. That's all I'm saying.
I do not put him on the pedestal of somebody who's always put on like these great matches. It's somebody who's in ring who has been consistent. We rarely ever talk about Billy Gunn on this show, and that pretty much shows. So yes, I completely acknowledge that. But again, if you need somebody in the ring to put on just a decent match, especially for like young and up and comers, especially in this generation, if you need like a scapegoat to help them not necessarily get over, but to continue that in-ring prowess, to give them something to go into the ring for. That's what you'll have. He's clearly a stepping stone, a block. And a lot of times that's all you need in wrestling. You don't have to beat somebody who is upper echelon. You don't have to be somebody that is, super great in order for you to start to get established. Over the years, you see Billy Gunn get into the rings with a lot of the young guns, especially in AEW, to help get them over. And that's still been working. That's pretty much been the majority of his career, other than DX probably. But yeah, that's what I see. It's consistent. It's the consistency that I've noticed and that I'll give respect to.
Okay, so he's basically your guy. You just singing his praises for what he's done over the years, unsung hero type stuff.
Yeah, he should have been world champion. I didn't say that. He definitely needs to be in one of the top 10 technicians of all time. Not what I'm saying. It's the consistency that he's able to give to the ring, both WWE, but obviously AEW. I'm not too familiar with any outside work that he done, but yeah, he just consistent guy. Just can't go with it.
He's basically just did enough to stay consistent on the main
roster.
Yeah, the main roster spotlight, pretty much. That's basically what he's saying. He's done enough to just stay mainstream for a majority of his career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm an man. I like to love him. I like to fuck him. I like to kill him. Like to flip him.
Let's say he's like that consistent role player on an NBA roster that just ain't get cut yet. That's it. He's like,
shoot. A lot of
you will be missed, apparently, Mr. Gunn. You will be missed, apparently.
He gonna pop up. He gonna pop back somewhere. He probably gonna go to WWE or something.
Mm-hmm. Stay around his sons, who they're not a topic, but I don't get them either. Not been a fan of the Guns.
The Buns, yeah. A little bit more on the All Elite Wrestling side. I just want to touch on this real quick because these are probably like two of my top favorite wrestlers on this side of the wrestling world, and that is, already know the drill, MJF and Adam Cole. Say it, J-Bro. Say it.
Baby.
Thank you. Yeah, that's right. Yes. Better than you, baby. Yes, they are they haven't had the tag title match yet, but they are inconsistent, so they go against FTR. I've been loving this lately, but it seems like there's a little bit of hostility going on because the champion that we all know of, MJF, has his doubts about a person who is all about titles, and that is Adam Cole. He took a glimpse at that Gucci printed certified AEW championship of MJF. That sounded weird.
It did, but carry on.
It did. But still, at the same time, how you feel about the storylines going on so far, and what do you think the end result will be of this? And we probably already know what's going to happen, what's going to come. But go ahead, J-Bo, start off.
The end result is obvious. MJF and Cole are going to break before they win the straps. That's obvious. I don't see them win the titles, but this tag team combination has been entertaining as hell.
Yeah, and this has made me watch this show consistently now for a minute.
Yeah, I'm dead serious. Like honestly, the like MJF was always, a prize, a commodity to watch in AEW. But him and Adam Cole is like an unlikely pairing that just works. From promo work, even with the in ring, they got a double clothesline to go over. Like that is just wild to me. But then again, from who we're talking about here, Adam Cole, MJF, obviously them together, they'll make it work. The match that's inevitable between them for the AEW World Title is going to happen. I don't put it past AEW, but I don't see them winning the tag titles and then implementing that into their feud. I see MJF saying, at the end, he turns on Adam Cole. Remember, I'm better than just something of his route. I am better than you. I don't need you. I don't need this title because I am the AEW World Champion. Something along that lines. And then it goes into the feud that we all see coming. But leading up to it, it's been entertaining as hell.
Yeah, it kind of reeks of that sucker in ending. Like he's just been lulling them asleep with his mannerisms and how he's been going about the whole tag team push that they've been getting recently. But it is really entertaining TV. It's what you should expect from them too. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. It's really good. I can't really find nothing wrong with it. Adam Cole, it took them too long to actually give Adam Cole something to do.
Yes.
But now that he does have something to do, he's flourishing. MJF, I really hope he never goes WWE.
Why?
I don't see them doing it properly. I just don't.
That and
MJ, he's freestyle with everything that he says and does. He comes off the top. You know what I'm saying? WWE, even with people like Roman, you can still tell Roman Reigns is kind of scripted. They give him outlines on what to say. He fills it in with his punchlines and his little phrases because he knows how to work the crowd at this point. But MJF don't need that. He got it. AEW is the only place that's gonna let him thrive like that.
Harv is correct. No, you're right. MJF is one of those who are, like you mentioned, good on the mic, but he's explicit. You can't put limits.
Yeah, you just gotta let him go.
Just let him go. In WWE, would he have great mic time? Sure. Look at somebody like The Miz. Pretty sure if you let The Miz be explicit, I'm pretty sure he can go up higher as well. But The Miz learned how to make it work. We don't know how that's going to work for MJF, and as of right now, as Harv mentioned, he flourishes a whole lot more in AEW than he would in WWE.
Hey, they would have suspended him for throwing that drink on that little kid. He would have been suspended.
Well, yeah,
they made a rule around it.
They made AEW got that independent feel, just on the main, just on the main.
That's where he belongs. That's his air. That's really where he belongs. He shouldn't go anywhere else. I mean, I thought that there was hope when Cody Rhodes got a deal, and I thought he was getting certain guarantees, and obviously he didn't. So I just don't stay where you are, MJF. Stay where you are.
Well, I mean, Cody, that just might be a different slow build that we're waiting
Focus
for.
on yourself.
What?
I know what they say. Focus on yourself, King. There you go.
Be patient, big hard.
Nah, son.
Hey, oh yeah, my apologies, MJF. I'm sorry. I should know my design. I meant to say Burberry, not Gucci. You have it's a Burberry. Yeah, that's the print. That's the style he got.
I'm not a name brand guy. I was gonna correct you, but I was like, shit, what I know.
I was just rolling with it. I don't know why I thought Gucci first, but I'm like, it's a Burberry scarf, a Burberry belt, not Gucci. Yeah, I'm sure Gucci is the green, but you never forget. Yeah, y'all know it. You should, but yeah. But Better Than You, Baby has been a great storyline. It's been keep me invested with the AEW product, and it's gonna come to an end soon. We all gonna see, obviously, MJF turn on Adam Cole, and we're gonna see his next title match, and hopefully, we might see Adam Cole be the AEW champion. I'm not mad at it, or MJF might keep it. I ain't mad at it because I like both of them, so it's gonna work out, and we're gonna see what is to come from it because they're not taking off of FTR. I don't see that's not happening.
No.
All right, last topic of the day is the PLE predictions for SummerSlam. And for this, we're just gonna give your answer. We ain't gonna give an explanation. Just 3, 2, 1. Just say the name, and then we're gonna leave it at that. All right. Ready? Go. All right, cool.
What'd you say we doing?
Our predictions for SummerSlam.
Oh, okay. I thought you said something about a Mr. PLE or something like that. I know he was saying something about that in the chat.
Oh no! Wait, no. Carmelo was doing a promo and he called himself Mr. Freeland. I'm like, that shit was dope. Like, he was the first person to say because that's his now.
Remind me a little Bow Wow called himself Mr. 106 in Park. You got it.
Moniker Bow Wow. Wild. All right, let's see. First we got is Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. On the count of 3, say who you got. 3, 2, 1. Wait, I said count 3. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, but you know, countdown here. 3, 2, 1.
Cody.
Good job. I said Cody Rhodes too. Cool. Moving on. The World Heavyweight Championship match. Seth Rollins or Finn Balor. 3, 2, 1.
Rollins.
Finn.
Yeah. I honestly want it to be Finn. They doing a lot. Yeah, you said no explanations, but I'm explaining this real quick. They doing a lot with the Judgment Day. And it would be cool for Finn to have it, Rhea have it, Dom have it for a little bit, and then Big Homie having the briefcase. And it would just add tension to their whole little storyline. So I'm a little conflicted on that one, but I know Rollins gonna take it. I would just like to see that.
I'm going with Finn. I'm still saying Finn.
All right, it's there.
Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler. 3, 2, 1.
Shayna.
Good job. Let's see. Or no, the Intercontinental Championship match is going to be Gunther and Drew McIntyre is probably going to be coming up. So with that one, 3, 2, 1. Gunther. Good job. Look at y'all. Look, I'm proud. All right, let's see. What's another match probably that was going to be coming up? Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus. I feel like we know this one. 3, 2, 1.
Don't care.
Becky. All right, cool. That works. All right, let's see. The triple threat match with Asuka, Bianca Belair, and Charlotte. 3, 2, 1.
Bianca.
Asuka.
Woo!
You bet Asuka.
We got 3 different answers. Asuka, we got Charlotte Flair, and we got Bianca Belair.
Yeah.
Well, we knew you was going for Bianca because that was kind of obvious. You never been against Bianca.
Don't even ask for my opinion. I'm biased. So next.
And I feel like I'm biased with Charlotte. So the undisputed WWE Universal Championship match: Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso.
Yep.
Yep. 3, 2, 1.
Jey Uso.
Roman Reigns.
And the only
reason we can do explanation on this one because that was the last one I had because everything else has been solidified or isn't on my radar right now. But let's talk about we got a couple minutes here. Talk about that one real quick. Why do you think Jey Uso?
So the only Roman Reigns obviously makes sense, yes, but I'm going with Jey Uso because yes, I am living in a fantasy, and I would love for the story to be ended perfectly, and mainly because after let's say Roman Reigns he does win, there's nothing else left. We talk on our show with Above the Ring where obviously the end result could be with Cody Rhodes coming back into it and going forward. But me personally, I just don't care. I don't care about that. So, but I do care more about the story, the bloodline ending the way it's supposed to, and Jey Uso who just came out of nowhere as this tag team competitor for years, becoming main event Jay and being the one to dethrone him. Yes, I understand it's fantasy booking, but that's what I'm pulling for in this case.
I need them to have a little bit more build for me to believe it. It started off where I was like, hell yeah, but now I'm just like, I don't feel like they building it to where he's going to take it. It just doesn't feel that way. I want that to happen because they need to come to some sort of satisfying close to that storyline, but they're not building it right no more to me. It's the whole storyline as far as the bloodline has slowed down, and now we know that the match is coming, but they're not putting the attention on it that they need to. It was like a weekly episodic drama, all right? And now they're not getting that same attention, so it wavers your faith in Jay a little bit, where it becomes more of a fantasy, like you just said, than something that would make sense. But I mean, he still got a little bit of time. They just gotta get me invested back into that particular story. It's not even that I'm not invested. It just don't feel like he's gonna win with their current direction.
Shoot, they got 2 shows left to build it up. So I mean, like,
so I said they gotta get to it.
That's hard. I mean, it sound good, but it's like, do you personally and honestly see Jey Uso being your face of your company for a period of time?
It's not that I see him,
but you see him taking off the title, yes. But for how?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. See him taking off the title face. No, I'm not even expecting for him to have it long. It's my end goal is in the bloodline story perfectly. That's my thing. Other than, he's clearly not going to have the belt as long as Roman Reigns. He's not going to have it as long as most people because, main event Jey is not the superstar that they're going to clearly build social media, finance, all that behind. I don't see that. I'm just seeing the end of the bloodline and being that Jey Uso. Jey Uso could lose it to whoever the hell else afterwards. Just
that's
storyline.
That's a given too. That part, what you was just saying there, is that he can lose it to anybody. He's never had experience really in a singles run or as a singles champion, so they could use that easily to take it off of him in his first, second, third defense, and nobody will be disappointed because nobody saw him getting to this level anyway. But I do think that with the fire in his promos and with him and Jimmy not exactly breaking up, it will work. He could have a short run with the title. He really could.
If he had a short run, that run is probably going to last for all of 30 seconds to a minute because I can see Jey Uso winning, but then I see Damian Priest coming out with that briefcase, and it'd be easier for him to cash in.
There you go. That's easy. That's an easy way to actually make it, and I wouldn't be mad at it because it makes sense.
Right, and it makes it better because Damian Priest isn't pinning Roman Reigns; he's just pinning Jey Uso. Like, no disrespect to Jey Uso, but it looks more believable that way.
Yeah, and
Strong go away for a while.
They're trying to build
to be
the next. No, you find they're trying to build the Judgment Day to be like the next important faction anyway. So that'll be a terrific transition.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, then that way you could balance them, have them both bouncing on both shows for a while. Going against the draft rules, but still, like,
let's just stop talking about that draft. Let's just not and say we did. Do it that way.
And on that note, we're gonna leave it right there for episode 74. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for being part of this whole thing we got going on with No Roast Podcast. We appreciate you. We love it. We can't do this without y'all. But before we sign off, y'all got to do this one simple favor for us, and that is to follow us on all social media platforms, KTR_podcast, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. No Roast Podcast, Facebook, YouTube. No Roast Podcast, all podcast platforms. Got Google Podcasts, got Spotify, got Anchor Podcasts, got Podbean on everything. And don't forget to get that merch at ProWrestlingTees.com/KTR Podcast. This is episode 74, Another Roast Podcast, hashtag KTR. We are KTR, and we are out.
What should they do? Big Harv.
I'm an ass man. I like to pump them. That's it. Had to add that. Y'all out.
I like to pump them. That's it.
That don't compute in my mind. I must be out of mind. Black fist high, rally up before we out of time.